This episode, we have a bit of a mission.
Yeah.
With this one.
Yeah.
Came to us with some information and some backstory.
Mm-hmm.
And we had to do this.
Yeah. I mean, you can't really say as a podcast that you stick up for B movies and you're all about, kind of spreading the indie love, right?
Yeah.
If you don't hear a story like this and immediately feel in your heart like, I have to talk about this.
Yes. And we did.
Yeah.
And we do. So what's coming up is wonderful 80s homage movie that basically got caught up in a shitstorm and prevailed. And
hell yeah.
Needed to share that story, needed to see the movie, share the movie, and talk about it and everything it represents. And just a little warning, folks, before you dive in, a lot of fucking swearing.
Yeah, we do. We swear a lot, but in this one, it came out a lot more.
Well, it's about a range of folks that we have a really fucking low opinion about.
Well, the movie's not, but the story.
No, yeah, the shit that happened to the movie.
Right.
By the people who we have a really low fucking opinion about.
Yes.
There. Let's clarify that.
Accurate.
Yeah. Well, should we send them on this run?
Hell yeah.
All right. We're off. Hey, B-Siders. Welcome to another episode of Bravo for the B-Side. This is Jim.
This is Danny.
And this week, we have a movie that was brought to our attention from a rep that contacted us. And it's going to be a little bit different format this week.
Yes.
Well,
there's a story behind this movie.
There is.
And why we wanted to cover it specifically.
Yes. So, I mean, we will talk about the movie, but then once we start drawing parallels, it'll become clear that we don't need to tap on the entire walkthrough because there's a similarity to something else.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, we're going to lightly walk through the movie, but there's a lot of points that we want to talk about this week. And, the reason it was brought to our attention, and we just got a lot going on here. So, why don't you bring us in? We could talk a little bit more about why we're doing it.
Okie dokie. All right. So the movie this week is called Girl, Girl, Scene. It was made in 2019. It was written and directed by Tucky Williams.
Yes.
It starred Tucky Williams, Maya Jamner, Amanda K. Morales, Roni Jonah, Ellie Barone, Kayla Perkins, and Vanessa Allen. It was not rated. It would probably be R. Yeah, there's like drug use and.
I suppose.
Yeah. We're not sure what the budget was.
No, didn't get back to me, but that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's okay.
So here is the log line. Gay girls just want to have fun. Join bad girl Evan, blonde bombshell Bridget, party girl Ryan, and their friends as they live and love as young lesbians living in a not-so-modern world.
And one thing to note, this began as a web series.
Mm-hmm.
It had 3 seasons. And spoiler, a couple weeks after this episode airs, we will be talking to Tucky Williams.
Yes, we will.
And that will air. In fact, today's Sunday, this coming Saturday, we're chatting with her.
Yeah.
For an episode, and that'll be 2 weeks out. It's been a busy as hell week.
Oh my gosh.
We've between regular recording, interviews.
I know, we had an interview just yesterday.
Yeah. And man, I'm going to be all week chopping all this because I've got to get the video ones ready. I've got to get the abbreviated ready, and I've got to get this one done up so I can send it to Tucky so she can hear it before we speak Saturday. Even though this comes after the interview we did yesterday, but that's not for a couple. It's just so much going on.
And then between all of that,
yes,
we got our nerd on with a 10-hour long D&D session yesterday.
We did. Oh my God. Went till 4 a.m.
Oh, it was awesome though.
Oh, our daughter was a trooper.
Oh, she literally fell asleep.
Yeah.
As we were playing.
Well, she was pushing till the end.
She was.
And then just all of a sudden, kids, switch goes off.
Mm-hmm.
Not like an adult where you're like, oh, I don't know, man. I can feel the meter going down. No, she was dun, dun, dun.
I looked over and she was
Gone.
crashed.
Yep.
All right, let's finish this room. And then cut.
That was it. So let's talk about, before we get into this movie, let's talk about why we wanted to do this.
Yeah.
Now, to be honest, this movie wasn't on I'd seen it, right? It has come up on our list a few times. But a couple things. One, because we're in the horror swing of things.
Well, usually, yeah.
I mean, and as everyone knows, we're not specifically a horror podcast, but
it just kind of happens to work out mostly.
Yeah.
Horror.
So it's just, we don't pay too much attention to what comes up on the list because it's like we've got 15, 20 things just on Prime alone.
Right. The last thing we need is to add more movies to our extensive list of things we want to cover.
So yeah, one day I'm going through the emails and was actually slopping together an episode. And I got an email from a rep and said, "Hey, got this movie."
Mm-hmm.
And here's what happened. So let's talk about this before we get into it.
Okay.
The issue was, so this is a movie, Girl Scene. The web series is about lesbians. So it's kind of like Sex in the City. It's this group of women, right? Mm-hmm. Who are lesbians, and they're doing their own thing. And we've got different types, right? They're different personalities and stuff. So it's an ensemble piece.
Well, it's like a friend group, and there's the like glamorous one, and there's the bad girl one, and there's the writer, and
the morose and everything. So these characters were brought into this film.
Mm-hmm.
And what happened was this hit Amazon, and it was doing pretty good.
Yes.
Right? And then one day it got taken down. The reason for that is because a bunch of misogynistic fucks slammed it with fake reviews.
Yeah.
And the rep put it a little more kindly than that to me, but you know how I feel about these fuckers. No problem calling them fuckers.
And we can do that. It's our podcast.
Yes. So anyway, as the great almighty Amazon functions, a lot of you may know as filmmakers and getting stuff out on VOD, they don't give two shits. They just go by the fucking numbers and the metrics. And when an algorithm says, "Hey, this has got a lot of bad reviews," they pull it.
Yeah.
They pull it. And so they pulled this one as well. Now, for most people, that's where the journey ends. You get fucked by the big A, and you're like, what can I do? And I know a few people we're following have like fucked up distribution deals where they've got
where they don't have any, they're not getting any money from the distro.
No, because the distributors like, we're done, and their contract with whatever service is they're just like holding on to shit in perpetuity and not allowing independent filmmakers to take their fucking movies back. And a lot of people we've read about and chatted with outside the show have like saved up and bought the fucking distribution rights back so they could do something with it, which is kind of a bullshit scene.
Well, it is.
But here's the thing. That's the beast we're dealing with.
Yes.
Okay. So, but here's where Tucky Williams is different. And this, I can't wait to talk to her next week.
I'm really excited about it.
About this. And we're just going to fucking unload and just give her the platform to just do that. She did not say, oh, what a bummer. She took this fucking fight to the front line.
Well, yeah.
She and journalists and had just this whole army looking these fuckers up, finding their identities, these fucking internet trolls, these piece of shit, cowardly fuckers, right? Had their asses exposed in the breeze. And in doing so, was able to prove, right? And made some very compelling cases, which to me seems simple, but you know, when you're dealing with like Amazon, you know, here's the bottom line. Several of the reviews said, I haven't even watched this and I'm not going to, and they gave it 1 star. What the fuck? How does that, and they're still up there. Cause I looked into all of this.
I know.
Yeah. And I got a little enraged.
I don't think anyone's surprised.
No. Well, and I came to you and said, we're watching this. Cause let me tell you.
Well, you asked me when you got the email and you said, what do you think? And I was like, well, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, it's so we watched the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so because it is back on Prime, she succeeded in her campaign and got it back up. The shit reviews are still there. The rating's still pretty low. They have a website dedicated to, you know, explaining the story and stuff. And what I found most troubling about it is, okay, so this is a movie about a group of lesbians. Big, you know, I don't know why that is still today. We've had this discussion in the past.
Yes.
Why this is still a fucking issue with people. I mean, grow the fuck up. But apparently it is an issue with these assholes.
And that's why movies like this need to exist and need to be seen.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. But a lot of the reviews were, you know, calling them ugly and just really, and some of them were complaining there was no nudity. I'm going to spoiler. There's no nudity in this.
Well, it's not a porn.
No.
It's
and there's only one scene of implied nudity, which I wrote in my notes. It's like a little side boob, which I don't even think is as much as you see on network television.
I mean, no.
No. And you can tell, like when you watch movies, you can tell the actress or, you know, she's positioning so things can't be seen. Right. The director will be like, okay, no nipples. We can't have nipples or we're going to have to cut it out and then we lose the scene, you know, or if we show it, we're going to get pulled.
Well, it's, you know, it's kind of funny because we were recently rewatching Rocky.
Yes.
And I never actually realized that movie does have nipples in it.
Yeah.
I never noticed them. Yeah. Columbia with her
bustier or corset.
Yeah. They're like spilling out a little bit. And I was like, how have I never seen that before?
I could have told you. But anyway, there was a lot of comparisons to was it Cinemax? I think the softcore porn shit that they show.
Oh, like late night.
Yeah,
Skinemax.
Yeah, that's exactly it. I'm just, you know, I don't even want to talk too much about it. I'm just going to say that's way off fucking mark. That is not what this movie was supposed to be. That is not what it was intended to be, and there is none of that bullshit.
Right.
Okay. We will talk about a few scenes.
Yeah.
There are some romantic scenes. But yeah, the reason we're doing this is because this is an independent filmmaker who got shit on, which is reason enough to talk about it, but fought back and won.
Yeah.
And that's an even better reason to talk about it. And the fact that she's going to talk to us and share all this, I am delighted.
Well, yeah. And on top of it, this movie was delightful.
Well, yeah. So let me set the movie up before I start getting into, running through it. So it says very plainly, this is an 80s homage movie.
Yes.
Okay.
Like the old VHS style.
Yeah. And a lot of people were talking about how poorly it was shot, the bad quality and stuff. Well, here's the thing. A lot of it was all effects. It was shot in a specific way to blow out the lights. I mean, this was looking like a low budget 80s film. They even added the VCR, the videotape fuzz, you know, that runs up the screen because it clutters up the heads and everything. There's a lot of that. It's very 80s. It hit the mark.
It is. There's a lot of like washed out lighting.
Yep.
you know, that kind of thing.
Washed out, super bright, lights so bright that they're double or triple image in the shot.
Yeah.
You know, it was wonderful. So
It
let's, and what we're going to do is we're going to talk a little bit about the movie, and I think we're just going to, because you ended up doing more of what you were thinking and feeling about
A little
things
more, yeah.
going on. I tried sticking to it, and I kind of wandered off too because there was just so much I wanted to put in my notes. But it's not going to do a disservice to the movie.
Well, and on top of that, we're going to make a lot of comparisons
Yes.
to John Hughes movies.
Yes, we are.
And if you think about John Hughes movies, like if you take The Breakfast Club, for example, if you were to try and write down the plot to that movie, you would struggle to do so.
Right?
You know. And that's kind of what I was struggling with.
Well,
so I just
get
started
it.
writing down my thoughts.
Well, and there's a reason for that. And we'll
Yes.
hit on that as we get a little further into this.
Yeah.
So listen up, people. All right, I'm going to take a sip of coffee so
You
I can
do it.
roll into this.
I'm a little scratchy. I'm already like halfway through my coffee. This doesn't bode well for me.
Oh, and with the cameras and everything set up, you can't get out so easy now.
I might just up out later.
We'll see. All right, so we fire up the movie and we open with Ryan and Bridget. They're in party clothes.
Mhm.
And then you can get the sense that they're at a party. Everything starts to spill
There's
in the
lights
background.
and there's music
Right. And Bridget needs Ryan to teach her how to French kiss. There's apparently some backroom discussion in their little group about how Bridget is a bad kisser. That's been talked about by her girlfriend. So Ryan obliges, but it's not going well. And it really did remind me of a lot of John Hughes stuff.
Yes.
You know, the awkward, but these aren't teenagers. These are full grown,
Right, they're adults.
yeah, women, right? But those weird, awkward moments, you know,
Yeah.
it's like, well, you know, wow. I don't know. I was a teenager and I don't remember fucking up that bad kissing kind of thing. So Ryan tells Bridget it's like kissing her sister. So they give it a couple more runs and then bam, the kiss lands.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And then Ryan is clearly uncomfortable in the aftermath and not so subtly makes her exit.
Right. She's like, I'm going to go somewhere that is not by you.
Yeah. I'm going not here. And and then she joins the party crowd. Then we cut to a bedroom and we have Evan, Bridget's girlfriend, is sitting with Dove, having some hard alcohol. And then we meet Trista, who enters telling Evan that Bridget is out there kissing other women and putting a damper on the party. We've all been to one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then this is where I noted the movie is supposed to have an 80s vibe, being set in the 80s and all, and it surely does.
Yes.
But well, here's the thing though. It wasn't like a high budget period piece,
No.
right? Because it wasn't full 80s. There's some setup and some scenes and some props and stuff that give you the
Right.
sense, but you can clearly tell. And who would have the budget for that? Oh, a studio. Well, this isn't a studio film. So,
Right.
did the best they can. So it was really done visually through the camera work
Mm-hmm.
and just kind of the attitudes and the dialogue,
Yeah.
but also the crowd that they had, in the 80s.
It was very 80s punk,
Yeah.
like alt punk.
Well, and there were different subsets and groups in there.
Yeah.
And that's the thing with 80s crowds. When people try to do 80s based movies, like so let's go like with Valley Girl. I understand they're doing that again or have done it again.
Let's not talk about that.
I don't care, whatever. But in that situation, what some people will do is they'll just get like one particular group, like all the Valley Girls at a party. That's really not how big parties went. It wasn't the same group.
Mhm.
So all the subsets were really well, just, a shot here, a shot here, a shot here, nothing ridiculous.
Right.
And you got the sense that, okay, this is a mix.
Right. There's even the like there's like a pentagram on the wall, you know.
Yes. A little bit of everybody going on here.
Yeah. So we get, you know, Bridget and Evan kind of in the corner, and they're looking over the guests, you know, talking about them. And their relationship is really kind of set by their like back and forth banter.
Yes.
So Evan's like the bad girl, and Bridget's sort of, I mean, she's very pretty, and she's got the glam hair going on, and but she's also just a little bit like naive,
Mm-hmm.
you know. They're polar opposites.
Yes. Yes. You can, just from this little bit, their personas are so very different.
Yeah.
You have sort of, it made me actually think of Parks and Recreation, where Donna's looking at Chris. Chris Pratt, and
Oh.
you're fine, but you're simple. And that's what I thought. Man, she fits that one. She seems really nice, and she's pretty, but a little simple.
Yeah.
Naive.
Yeah. So then they end up in the bedroom, and the sex scene is, again, very 80s, especially with the shots, you know, when you watch movies like this, that are VHS 80s, that style. It was, I don't know how to describe it exactly. It just fit that aesthetic.
Mm-hmm.
But there is no nudity.
No.
You know.
They cut away a lot.
Mm-hmm.
That was a big 80s thing. So someone sneaks off into the room upstairs during the party, and they'll like start making out, and then they'll cut to the party. They'll come back. They're a little bit further.
Right.
Someone's got a shirt off, back to the party, or back to someone else talking.
Yeah.
You know, and then back and forth. And so it's like a progression where you're not sitting there for 7 minutes.
Right.
Watching.
Yeah.
Like a voyeur.
And that was where I was thinking, and I already broke off on my little thought. And I was like, you know, I'm pretty sure one of the reasons all the idiots who hated on this movie was because they were expecting a porn, and instead what they got was a real movie.
Yes. And there is a review that Amazon has left up where someone said, this is supposed to be lesbians. I thought it was going to be hot. It was boring as shit. So I'm picturing this guy writing it with one hand with his flaccid dick because he got deprived of a jack-off session because he's into watching lesbians. Mm-hmm. And so he's pissed and disappointed.
Boo-hoo.
Yeah. You know what? I mean, these troglodytes aren't fucking smart enough to dial into a podcast. But in case one of them is, or they have a friend who does, fuck you.
So we get the credits, and it's very 80s VHS, the like skipping and lines and the opening credits. So in the middle of the night, Evan and Bridget wake up to sounds in their house, and Bridget, and I thought this was interesting because this is before we find out more about her character. She's like, "Where's my axe?"
Yep.
And I was like, oh, all right, cool. But they go out and they find Ryan, who's in the kitchen, and she is just completely toasted.
Yep.
And she's saying that she's been drugged.
She got dosed.
Or
tried to get dosed. One or the other. No, that she got dosed.
Right.
Yeah.
In any case, she didn't feel safe, so she came here. And so something happened that I kind of missed. But they end up back at the party looking for Dove.
Oh, because she
I think she was concerned that Dove was drugged too, or that she was doing too much.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she was concerned about her and wanted to get back.
Yeah.
She had to get out, like to get help before she like went down.
Right.
Yeah.
So they find Dove, and she is laying in bed in the same place where she and Evan were earlier. And she's completely fucked up. So they break up the party, and nurse her, I guess,
Well,
with
go ahead.
with liquor.
Yeah. Well, that was kind of the thing. Was I was looking at that thinking, I don't know if somebody who's been roofed needs some hard alcohol, but it came clear like a minute and a half later. They just pumped some super hard liquor down her, and then she just like hurled.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, oh, gotcha, the purge.
Yeah.
That old standby.
So later, Evan and Bridget are at their place, and Evan is talking about how her father's running for Senate. And the issue is that he's running Republican.
Yes.
And so they kind of have this discussion about how, you know, if Evan is being his campaign manager, that's going to go against her, you know, like fundamental beliefs.
Right.
And that, you know, whether or not she can do that and still, you know, be her and not
right, because they bring up
compromise
some
herself.
valid points that were discussed back in the 80s, but certainly weren't as prevalent as today, because we've made leaps and bounds,
Yeah.
you know, in courts and stuff. But it's, you know, gay rights,
Mm-hmm.
you know, Republicans and stuff. And Evan was, you know, no, he's just going to be Republican by name. And,
Right.
you know, he's still going to push for, you know, gay rights and women's rights and all this stuff. And that whole thing was so 80s in that was a very typical thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So here's her mounting obstacle that she's going to have to contend with.
Right.
You can just see it. It's like, well, either dad's going to turn out to be a closet asshole or isn't going to be powerful enough he'll have to like sway with this group and that group and, you know,
Right.
go
Or
against the very things that his daughter is, not, you know, represents, but
Mhm.
is.
Or it's going to be one of those situations where one day you're like, well, I guess we can let this little thing go.
Yeah.
And then the next day you're like, well, this is just a little thing. You know, we'll put this to the side too. And then eventually what you end up having is a major issue with all these little compromises that you've made, adding up to a really big fundamental issue.
Yes.
So,
The 80s hero cinematic journey.
right. So, there is another noise, but Bridget already knows it's Ryan who stayed the night. And Evan's like, really? You let her stay here? You could have told me.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So then, so Ryan is telling us that she received a phone call from London and her father is on his deathbed. And apparently he's well off, but he's kept his distance from his daughter because she's gay. Evan pops through on her way to help her dad on his campaign. Ryan is not terribly impressed. She's supporting a Republican campaign. So, you know, now we're starting to get the feedback,
Right.
right?
And Ryan's very blasé about her father being on his deathbed.
Right.
She's like, I hope he dies.
And there's a reason for that.
Right.
Well, it's two reasons. One, it's the character, and two, something else that's coming up shortly. But yeah, and the thing about Ryan, you can tell she's the party girl,
Mhm.
right? And it's not that she's stupid, but she's on a different level of simple and naive. You know, Bridget's different. Bridget's actually focused and on her way to doing things. She's going
Right.
to, you know, school and nursing school and
Right.
all
Well,
that.
she's
or
archaeology.
archaeology. Thank you. Or
Yeah.
anthropology. I thought.
Anthropology.
Anthropology.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Bridget is more like quiet, you know, introverted.
Right. I mean, she still hits with the parties and stuff,
Mhm.
but you know, she's not the center of attention.
Right.
That's Ryan.
Where Ryan is almost childlike.
Right. Just doesn't care, you know,
Mhm.
and you know, we'll a little bit of a spoiler. There's like one scene in the movie, she's doing like 4 lines of coke. That I saw that and I'm like, good God. Even a fucking drug lord wouldn't tackle something that big.
Right.
I
and
mean-
she's like 80 pounds.
I know. I'm looking at that. I'm like, those fucking lines are like 2 fingers wide. She's like, but there's something endearing about that character.
Yeah.
The actress did a really good job bringing it with the big,
Those doe eyes.
those big doe eyes. They were
my
always
gosh.
wide, but not like I'm at the height of
No.
my cocaine. Or they're about to pop out. She's just wide-eyed, doe-eyed, and she's just all about the fun.
Yes.
And, we'll get to that later too. Where are we?
At Dove and Trista's.
Yeah. So, Dove and Trista's place. Dove wants to be a journalist, but she's stuck writing up engagement announcements and at the paper. And there's a little bit of discussion about that. And I just noted here that already I've noticed there's a lot of drinking
So much drinking.
going on by this group. Wow.
I know.
But hey. So then, Trista's stopping at someone's place, and I missed the name.
What's her ex-wife?
Right. Yeah, I picked that up later.
Mhm.
But I just missed it. And then, yeah. Oh, yeah. She's going, she's bringing the divorce papers.
Yeah.
Because they're getting divorced. And then they start to make out. So Trista and her soon to be ex-wife. I'm thinking this is probably not going to work out well with Dove. And speaking of her, she's shown up at Ryan's place, and it's pretty nice.
Yeah.
And my first thought was, Dad has some money going to her. And turns out he's just giving her a bit of an allowance, right? Because this is a super nice place.
Right.
And there's more vodka.
Mm-hmm.
I just wrote down, I'm pretty sure that this is still fairly early in the morning.
Yes.
And while they're there, Ryan announces she's going to drop a truth bomb. She tells Dove that she has a problem, that she knows what her problem is, and she thinks Dove is madly in love with Evan. Says that she needs someone who will treat her like a woman and a person, and that Evan can do that for her. And the talk ends with Dove, vehemently denying and just walking out. That she's,
right.
Saying she's very wrong in her assessment.
Yeah. So, I had kind of stopped writing notes on what exactly was going on in the movie.
Yeah. So we can
at this
take
point.
segment.
So, because I wasn't sure that I could accurately write notes about the events of the movie. Right.
Yeah.
We have a lot of characters and a lot of little things are being set up.
Mm-hmm.
And so instead of like a big major storyline, like an arc, a typical arc, this isn't set up like that.
Right.
It's a lot of little things kind of adding up. And it's tough to see how they're adding up as you're watching it for the first time.
Yes.
So, I mean, a lot of what I felt like this movie was trying to, make a bit of a statement, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of it is tied up in concepts and philosophy, and lives that just take a lot of time to explain, in addition to just writing what is actually going on.
Right.
Right. The thing with like Evan and her dad,
mm-hmm.
what that is and what that is about are two separate things.
Right.
So, principally these girls live lives that have been complicated by the fact that they're gay. Right?
Right.
And that's, something that they're dealing with in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of an art piece, slice of life thing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, we can break off from the movie from here, because we can we don't have to roll through it scene by scene. because it was becoming very clear to me, and it was in my notes more and more and more until I finally like ended up jumping off completely on this. This and so folks, when we went into the movie, I didn't like read all the stuff about it because I didn't want to.
Right.
We like to just go in like, oh, well, what's this movie about? Based on the trailer, that's like all the information we want. Yeah, we knew it had a problem and this whole big thing behind the scenes. So I did eventually later find that there was a couple reviews out there from a while ago that did mention what I had started to assume. So it became very clear to me that this was almost a remake of St. Elmo's Fire.
Yeah.
And I don't know how many people are going to know what that movie is. So I'm going to explain it really quickly. St. Elmo's Fire was wasn't a sequel to The Breakfast Club, but it was kind of like the follow-up. The Breakfast Club, we had the teens. We had the
high school.
Yeah, and we had every trope, stereotype character. We had the bad boy. We had the nerd. We had back then they weren't really called emos. Ali Sheedy's character, she was just kind of a loner. Like she was her own group. We had Molly Ringwald, who was, the prom princess and very hoity-toity, and Emilio Estevez was the jock, right? And, Anthony Michael Hall was the nerd. Judd Nelson was the auto shop class guy who just was the bad boy.
Yeah.
And everything. Well, that's great. That movie did fantastic, but it was about teenagers.
Right.
Right. So what was the next logical progression? Young adults.
Mm-hmm.
So St. Elmo's Fire doesn't have everyone from the first movie in it, but because it's not a sequel. But what it is, it's about a bunch of college friends who just graduated from college, and they all have their different things. And they were the tropes, stereotypes of the day of young adults.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about Ryan.
Yes.
Okay. Ryan, her character comparison in St. Elmo's Fire was Demi Moore's character, who was supposed to be, all this money, and her stepmother's like keeping her from the full fortune. And she through the whole thing, she's talking about different ways she can, bury her stepmother cheaply or some stuff. I'm going to say this. Ryan in Girl Scene, that character, the way it was written and performed, was way funnier than Demi Moore's character.
Oh, she's hilarious.
In St. Elmo's Fire. And that was one of the most painful things of that movie was it's like, I know you're trying so hard to be funny, but you're not.
Oh.
The writing was not good. Dove, Andrew McCarthy.
Mm-hmm.
That's her opposite in St. Elmo's Fire. He's the heavily overdone. He's a writer, so of course he's
tormented.
Oh yeah, tormented writer. He's stuck writing fucking obituaries, and for the paper, and he wants to be this big writer. So he's constantly talking about fucking philosophy and everything, just all the shit that never really happens. But when you're looking at a character archetype, that's what you throw in there. And then we had Rob Lowe, we had Judd Nelson, we had Mare Winningham, Ali Sheedy. Did I say her name?
No.
Okay. So anyway, we had a lot of people. Every one of them has a kind of counterpart in this movie. So this eventually, my notes were like, man, I can see that this is so much like this. And then Dove is like Andrew McCarthy's character. And, I can see where this relation. And then it finally dawned on me. Well, this is an homage to what is the quintessential 80s young adult movie.
Yeah.
By which all others are judged.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And I'm just going to say, I want to say this. I loved that fucking movie when it came out. Because when Breakfast Club came out, I was 14,
okay.
I think. And I saw it in the theater. And I was like, wow, this is pretty good. But being a teenager, None of the shit I've witnessed is quite this funny.
Right.
You know, it's just, if only it was like this.
It's a little romanticized and
Yeah.
comedized.
Yeah. Now St. Elmo's Fire came out when I was 16, and I was already out living on my own, and I was just about to take off into my life as an adult in the service. And then this thing came out, and I loved it, but I remember thinking, fuck, really? Is this what most people end up like? You know, because the characters in the movie were 6 to 8 years older than I was at the time. You know, I just, wow. Anyway, but I loved it. I've watched it I don't know how many times for all of its faults, right? You know, so this is a very in parallel type movie. We have the same circumstances. We have romantic issues. We have mistaken crushes.
Right.
You know, and it also kind of reminded me, it's not an 80s film, but Love Actually.
Oh, yeah.
Where Keira Knightley's character thinks that Andrew Lincoln hates her.
Right.
You know, why
but he's in love with her.
Yeah, why are you always such a fucking dick to me? And then she's watching his unedited video of the wedding that he shot there to his best friend.
And it's all her.
It's all her. And then she gets it and he just like leaves.
Right.
Right.
She realizes why it's taken him 100 years.
Yeah.
To do this
but
wedding
St.
video.
Elmo's Fire, there's the same kind of thing. There's, you know, mixed signals, and then, oh, surprise, went a little sideways. And people end up with different partners towards the end. Right. So if you haven't seen St. Elmo's Fire, I highly recommend you watch it. Because like it or not, it's a piece of cinematic history.
Well, yeah.
You know, and we didn't get a chance for you to watch it.
Right.
Because it's been such a fucking busy week.
Oh my gosh.
And I know you haven't seen it, but we're going to watch it.
Yes.
Because you'll see.
Well, I've always wanted to watch it. It just has never actually
ended up
happening. Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, I would highly recommend watching it, because then you'll understand what an absolutely fantastic homage this is to 80s movies. So it's taking it, and it's taking all the male characters out, replacing them with women.
Right.
And adding in the fact that they're all lesbians. Even though it's an homage to St. Elmo's Fire, it was really cleverly written, because the comedy in here was funnier than St. Elmo's Fire.
Yeah.
Right. And yeah, I don't know. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. It was, so you get a certain point into the movie, and then you kind of start, because I had no idea what to expect either. And then I started to realize, like, oh, this is one of those, like, we're lining up points of these interconnected lives.
Yes.
Right? We're setting up the tracks. And we can see as things go on, as we start to get these kind of like love triangles and, you know, drug problems and, you know, marital issues and stuff, and secrets, lots of secrets.
Right.
And we can see the cars lining up for a crash.
Yes. and yeah, it's done very well.
It is.
There's one scene towards the end, kind of the sort of the climax bit, that we were chuckling at, and its comparison or its companion scene in St. Elmo's Fire was actually pretty fucking dark and sad. You know, it's when Ryan texts them, she's losing her shit. She's going to basically kill herself, because you find out that her dad isn't dying. Right. She just made that up because she was angry at him. And this was super well done, because there's not really a comparative to this in St. Elmo's Fire. Demi Moore is she spends herself stupid, and gets into all kinds of trouble. And then she's broke. She's in an empty apartment, barricaded in, and Rob Lowe goes in and talks to her and explains about St. Elmo's fire, and everything's fine. In here, Ryan actually, it hit.
Yeah.
It's funny because it was actually very comedic all around it. It's like the outside of this donut, right? She just had us chuckling. But then we get to that core point, again, which was huge in the 80s. There's that, the anticlimactic downer.
Yeah.
Right? The drama. And she's just pissed because her dad should love her.
Yeah.
But because she's gay, he shit on her.
Right.
Right? So he cut her off emotionally, cut her off financially.
So she's...
she spent herself stupid for what money she did have.
Mm-hmm.
She was kind of putting up a front.
Yes.
Yeah. And it went south on her. So all of her friends start coming to her aid, but it's just fucking hilarious because everybody else, once they get there, is having their own problems.
Right.
And she's just watching shit unfold. And you very quickly forget that she was about to leap off of a third floor indoor balcony.
Right.
Right. She's just, and this is one of the best parts because this didn't happen in St. Elmo's Fire. The fucking knife.
Yes.
Through what we like to call the Rube Goldberg.
Yeah. Through a complex and somewhat crazy series of events.
Yes. Do you want to take it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I do have to set this up a little bit though.
Please do. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we learn as we're going through that Dove isn't in love with Evan. She's in love with Bridget.
Right.
And they all have kind of a falling out about it. But when Ryan needs everyone's help, they all show up at her house. And Evan is pretty pissed that Dove is there.
Mm-hmm.
So Evan takes one of Bridget's medieval swords.
Yes. Bridget restores medieval weaponry.
Mm-hmm. And so Evan takes one of the swords and starts chasing Dove around the house with it.
Yes.
While Ryan's standing on the balcony like, you guys. And Bridget doesn't want them to kill each other, so she grabs one of her daggers, who knows why, and starts chasing after them. She ends up, and this is while Trista manages to find a way upstairs because Ryan's blockaded.
Yeah, she gets
the stairs. She goes up the
outside of the house.
Yeah.
And crawls in one of the upper floor windows, and then is just standing next to Ryan as all this shit starts to go down. And they're just like looking at each other like, huh.
Yeah. And then so Bridget's chasing them, and she ends up tripping over a couch and stabbing Evan in the back.
Yes.
With the dagger.
And I actually, in my head, was like, Jesus. Whoa. I wasn't expecting that to go down.
Right?
Didn't seem like that kind of a mood. But it should have been tragic, but it fucking tickled me. Oh, man.
Yes.
Wow. So, yeah, that was way more satisfying than St. Elmo's Fire.
It does immediately stop the fight.
Yes. It all comes to a screeching halt. The bullshit ceases to flow,
mm-hmm.
and the focus is on now. This has just gotten real.
Right.
Right.
Right. It's all fun and games until someone gets stabbed.
Yeah. And then what we have is we have some conversations, again, very 80s type things. So Dove and Bridget are together,
mm-hmm.
right? But then they have a conversation where Bridget's like, I just got out of this long-term relationship, right?
Right.
And the reason her and Evan split up is Evan has been cheating on her since like day one.
Yeah.
And she thinks if she can get Bridget to marry her, that she'll be able to stop cheating.
Right.
Right? It's that whole...
Well, in Evan's mind, they're not really in a real relationship unless they're married.
Unless they're married, yeah. And I might be corrected in saying this, but I took it as, I know, like back in the 80s, because we had a lot of things going on in the early 80s, especially, with AIDS coming to the forefront and people looking at gay relationships as not real.
Right.
It's like, well, you're not married, this and that fucking nugget, right? And I kind of thought that maybe this was sort of like a tip to that there were people, I'm assuming there would
we'll find out.
We're going to find out. But it just felt like, there were probably people who just, they bought into that, where, well, if I can't marry somebody, then this isn't really a big deal. And of course there are people, of all genders and everything that are like, fuck you.
Right.
We've been together for 14 years. Don't tell me I need a fucking piece of paper. Look at Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem to have bothered them a bit.
Nope.
That they never walked the aisle. Right? So anyway, that's kind of what I took that as her desperation for validity in the relationship, and then that will somehow transform her nature.
Right.
Where she's not, and in this instance, in the movie, fucking the intern was her last go around before all the shit hit the fan.
Yeah. But then she gets really mad when she finds out that, Bridget, after their fallout, after Bridget found out about all the cheating, that Bridget hooks up with Dove.
Right.
And she views that as a huge betrayal. But what she was doing wasn't wrong.
Right. It's that whole deflection. Oh, you did this and that, and you were, because at one point in the movie, after a party, Bridget wakes up and she finds a note written on the counter.
A little poem.
A poem. Right. It's lovely. But she thinks somebody wrote it for Evan.
Right.
And then we find out later that Dove actually wrote it for Bridget.
Yeah.
And Evan was just like nonplussed by it. She's like, oh, well, okay.
Whatever.
Someone wrote me a poem.
Right.
Or no. She thought Evan wrote it for her.
Oh, yeah.
At first. Yeah. And then it was like, oh, well, then maybe it's for you. Okay. And the thing is, none of these characters are unlikable.
Right.
There's varying degrees of like, watching just based on the characters. I was thinking I could have coffee with her.
Well, yeah.
I could have coffee with her. I could only have coffee with her if her and her were there as well. Because I wouldn't want to do a one-on-one. Just seems a little too intense, And that's kind of like with every movie, when you watch like a drama or something that isn't action adventure, but when you're trying to get to know the characters, I do that from time to time. I think, I could have coffee with that character.
Well, and I think the characters, they were really well written. They were, even though they were tropes, right? They were also very three-dimensional. They weren't flat.
Right. They had stories. And we saw them evolve and unfold. We didn't have a lot of backstory. We just got like the history of the pairs. We knew that Evan and Bridget were together for several years.
Right.
Right. Evan was paying for Bridget's school because she wanted her, and it's that kind of thing. It's just like a standard relationship. Somebody who's in a relationship with someone else and that person is making, has a good job making a ton of money. And then their partner is, busting their ass in studies and stuff. It's like, well, you know what? I got this. What the fuck,
Right.
It's like, be married or not, Bridget was her wife in that responsibility aspect.
Yeah.
Well, I'll do this and then you get to do what you want to do and then we'll just see what goes from there. You get to get your degree and move on and then we'll move forward with that new element kind of thing. But then you have like Dove and Trista.
Oh man.
Who are clearly working on their own things.
Yes.
In life.
I do have to say, one of my favorite scenes. And Trista, it took me a while to get her name. I know they mentioned it a bunch of times. And it was even written at the very beginning of the movie. I'm terrible. It took me a long time to get her name, but she goes with Ryan to go spy on her ex-wife.
Oh, God. Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And Trista's ex is in the house with her new flame.
Yes.
And Trista's furious.
Yeah.
Because they're just like nicely dancing in the living room, you know. And Trista's furious. She's going to like bust in there. And Ryan tackles her to the ground and wrestles around with her. And I was just dying.
Oh, my God. And they don't get caught.
No, they don't get caught.
Because that was hilarious. The ex, I think Pamela.
I think so.
Is the ex. And she comes to the window and she's looking out. And the way Ryan freezes on top of Trista. It's just awesome.
Right.
Oh, man. These women did such a fantastic job portraying these characters. And I'm not surprised, because if you have a web series for 3 years.
Well, yeah.
I mean, you know these characters.
You do.
They didn't have to do any digging, to who is this? No, they've hashed that out.
They've been living with those characters for 3 years.
Yeah. And it shows.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now, my one criticism about this film.
Oh, yeah. I know what you're going to say.
And it's not huge. It's a personal thing. There was a point where it was super hard to watch this visually for my eyes.
Right.
Now, I've lived through the 80s. I've seen all the evolution of bad, cinematography and just, shit and VHS inspired films. But it's been so long since I've been exposed to that. These effects were starting to fucking play havoc with my eyes.
Because they were so bright. The lighting was so bright.
That was the thing back then. Yeah, it was so bright, and there'd be big burnouts, right, on the walls or on somebody's forehead. And like I said, the lights that were so bright that they, mirror inside the lens. So you get a double or triple, you see 3 lamps and there's only one.
It starts to hurt your eyes after a while.
Yeah. Especially
not having been exposed to that kind of lighting and cinematography for years and years and years.
Now, I want to amend that. I just want to make it clear that's not beginning to end of the movie.
No,
there are key moments when that happens.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't see the VCR static line, every 2 minutes. It's not that kind of shit. The stuff is just thrown in there enough to let you know this is an 80s film-ish, filmed on Betamax.
Yeah.
Not even VHS. Right? So it's not anything the movie did wrong, but for me, I was towards the end, I'm like, oh, my eyes are just, I've been away too long.
Well, I'm thinking about it now. There's an interesting thought that I just had. Okay. Which is those old VHS movies were meant for viewing on tube televisions.
Yes.
Which are lit differently than LED televisions.
Yes.
LEDs are lit with blue light.
Mm-hmm.
And when you have something that bright on a blue light screen, it's a huge strain for your eyes.
Yes.
So we could go to my cousin's. He restores old TVs. Borrow an old TV and play this on that and do a proper comparison.
We could.
Yeah.
Well, I've talked about before, right? All this wonderful technology with LED, OLED, and who the fuck knows what else. When plasma came out, I was like, whoa. But here's the thing. I will always maintain most of the movies that I have enjoyed from my childhood and watching movies from, the 20s on up always look better on a tube television.
I know.
Right? So you can give me all this fucking 4K, 5K, 10K, 100K definition at some point you're going to fucking get to. All right. Now, to me, honestly, from HD to 4K, I'm not fucking impressed. I like, big fucking deal. Whatever, man. Because until you show me a television that can handle the contrast differences between pure white and pure black without pixelating at all, or without halo, then don't talk to me about how tube televisions are ancient and shit. They were master fucking pieces. That fluorescent coating and that RGB ray at the back, putting all that shit on the screen. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, but even back then, the shit was bright.
That's true.
You know. So yeah, that's it for me. I just didn't want it to come across as that's what made the movie bad, because nothing made the movie bad.
Right.
It was so authentic. It got to me.
Well, yeah. And when we get to the end of the movie, there's a lot of like realizations and, you know, coming to terms with stuff. And it's all really, really relatable.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you're a young adult, crossing that line into being an adult is so hard.
Mm-hmm.
And learning to like admit things you've lied about, admit your mistakes, admit things you're ashamed of, and like talk about those, all of that stuff is so hard. And as I was watching it, I was like, oh man, I remember these moments.
Yeah. Well, and that's what St. Elmo's Fire was.
Mm-hmm.
And really it was the first movie, because that's what the 80s were all about. These little groups, little section, these moments, right? Because we had 16 Candles, Pretty in Pink, and they were so purely
yes,
that stereotype of that segment of whatever age group that they're dealing with, and that group. Everyone can identify with it.
Yeah.
You know,
and that's why those movies were so successful.
Well, yeah, that's why we're still talking about them today.
Yeah.
And why people like Tucky are making homages to them.
Yeah.
You know, we just saw, right, a trailer. We put it on our list.
Oh yeah.
That we might do for an episode down the road. I probably want to watch it just for fun, because
whether or not we do an episode on it, I want to watch it because it looks fun.
Right. But it's a spoof on the old 50s sci-fi movies. It's done in black and white.
Yeah,
it's
old schlock 50s.
Oh my God. Fucking paper cutouts, the whole thing.
Oh my gosh.
Right?
Spaceships made of styrofoam.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure somebody's going to slam the shit out of it.
Oh yeah. Because
people, I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Most of the general population is so fucking stupid. They shouldn't be trusted with, you know, a fucking toothpick and a foot of dental floss. Because they don't get it. Because we've seen so many reviews on things that we've enjoyed. It's not because we think, you know, I know that we like things people don't like. And that's fine.
Right.
But when I see somebody like, oh, the effects on this were shit. Dude, do you not get that the entire point of this fucking movie was to make fun of the cheesy fucking effects? I mean, it even says it like right on the fucking DVD box. It says it right in the liner notes, and it says it in the trailer. You know?
Well, yeah.
How did you miss it, Slick?
Right?
Right?
you know, and then reviews on movies that are super low budget, like out of pocket.
Right.
Right? And they're like, oh, you know, the sets were so fake and the effects were so dumb and the actors were terrible. And it's like, well, you know what? I'd like to see you do better with your credit card limit maxed out.
Yeah.
Like,
well, our episode with Eric Schumacher.
Right.
We talked about Robert Townsend.
Yeah.
Who did just that. Like, well, you know what? I'm going to make this fucking movie, and I know exactly what it's going to look like because I've only got X amount of dollars on my credit card.
Yeah.
And I was only able to get this other one, you know, and that's what I've got. You know, they didn't have GoFundMe. They didn't have, you know, campaigns. And and here's the thing, the harsh reality of back then, an unknown black man soliciting for money to make a movie, right? Mm-hmm. That wasn't ever going to happen. So he self-funded. So and that's the same kind of thing. That's what I'm talking about. We have groups. So, you know, we have someone like Tucky Williams, who's making this movie based on a web series,
Mhm.
right? It's like the web series had,
Who was making this movie
yeah,
and a web series?
well, yeah,
I mean,
you know, but we still have that bullshit where that's, oh, so it's about lesbians. Right away, that's going to shut like 80% of the doors,
right.
because no one has the balls to just dive in and go, all right.
Yeah.
Right. So, and then out of that 20%, some of them are going to freak out. Oh, you are a lesbian. Oh, I can't handle that scandal. The fuck scandal. Anyway, her being able to make the web series and, fund the movie
Mm-hmm.
and get it out there and fight for it.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, that's just huge. And that is the spirit of independent filmmaking.
Yeah.
And I like the fact that these independent filmmakers are making homage films to the 80s and to things like that, or to the sci-fi one we just talked about. And we've seen quite a few that are so campily put together,
I love them.
It's wonderful.
It is.
And I guess I want to say that too. There's no camp in this.
No, it is not campy.
It borders on it.
A little bit.
Because only because the 80s movie humor bordered on camp.
Mm-hmm.
I think she basically backed that trailer up perfectly in line with, the trailer full of the past.
Right.
All things 80s. Because we had the transition shots, which kind of reminded me of The Room.
Yep.
Tommy's masterpiece of, why so many shots of the city at night when it's daytime, Tommy? We asked that question.
So many shots of the city.
Yeah, she had like sunset shots and then the music and then
yes.
that static line that went up.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it was delightful.
It was delightful.
Let's talk about some technical things.
Okay.
So
my biggest technical issue was sound.
Right.
It wasn't awful, but there were definitely a number of spots where something was going on with the sound, and I couldn't quite make out what people were saying.
Mm-hmm.
Like the background music or sounds were kind of overlaid on top of it.
Right.
Not quite meshing correctly. But in fairness, sound is so freaking hard. Sound design is, I think, probably the hardest part of editing a film.
Can I comment on that?
Of course you can.
It abso-fucking-lutely is. I didn't know anything about doing visual effects, but I did it, right? I learned it and I put them in for the short film and all that. But and color correction is a bitch too, but that's its own little beast.
Well, yeah.
But fucking audio, that's why I decided to scrap everything.
Mm-hmm.
And for folks who have listened to our interview with David Keith and Liam Matheson, I spoke a little bit about shit canning I took our short film, folks. I finally just fucking deleted the entire project. I'm taking what files I do have and I'm starting completely from scratch.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I said, I'm done fucking plastering over everybody else's fuck ups. Right?
Yeah.
Because the sound was so hard and I was so hard to work with the Frankenstein creation that I had.
Right.
It was killing me. And when I listened to the audio, because I did most of the fucking audio, I held the boom mic for most of the production.
Yeah.
Right. But then there are shots where I wasn't there, where I'm like, oh my God, what?
And the professional sound guy that we hired just
sounded the worst.
Yeah.
Right. But I get that sound engineering is hard.
Yes.
Because it is. And it really depends on like the equipment that you have,
mm-hmm.
the environment that you work in. Like when we talked with Kyle Hester, they were looking for prisons, right, to shoot the chair.
Right.
And they found one that was, oh, fuck,
Aesthetically,
Yeah.
perfect.
this is beautiful. And then Kyle's like,
We can't film here.
fuck no, we'll never get the echo out of here. Right.
Right.
And that's a little bit different level because those are people who are in Hollywood. They're working different films. And he's an independent filmmaker
Right.
and the people working with him, but they all have experience working on major films in different departments. Kyle's been all over the map,
Oh, yeah.
right?
Kyle
Hauling
does
shit to set,
everything.
building things and stuff, so he knows. He knows.
Mhm.
But there comes a point where you have what you have.
Yeah.
Right? We're in this room. I do my best to make sure we have good sounding quality,
Right.
but there are physical aspects here that can't be overcome.
hmm
And we just, I just signed off. Fuck it. This is what it is. I can make it sound as good as I can. There's some shit I'll never get out. Right?
Yeah. And I think our podcast sounds pretty good.
I think it sounds pretty good.
Technically.
Well, we've had a lot of people tell us that.
Yeah.
Thank you all.
Oh, yeah.
for
Thank
that.
you.
But also too, if you listen to, cause this is like what, 34, 33,
Is
or
that what it
34?
says?
I put it up there. 34. Okay.
34.
We have to both look at the shared big screen in the middle of our desks.
Our setup is so funny.
But it works. Works
It
better than
does.
it did before.
That's true.
Because we're not like trying to talk to each other and look at a 70-degree angle.
Yeah.
So anyway, now I forgot what I was talking about.
Sound?
Sound, maybe. Are you sure?
Yeah, you were talking about controlling the sound of our podcast.
Yeah. It's just, if you listen to from our first episode till now, there's varying degrees of sound quality. Because I'm not gonna lie, and I'm not ashamed to say it. I experiment with the fucking sound every episode.
And
some people
you've learned a lot.
Well, yeah, and some people are like, no, you got to get that shit down pat. It has to sound the same. You know what? Fuck you.
Yeah.
Some days I have sounds. Some days I have, soundboards.
Yeah.
Some days, and I'm just, you know what? Because I can, right?
Right.
Same thing with doing all this shit. And there's different circumstances too,
That's true.
that kind of play into it. Like when we do the interviews, the sound is very different because we're
hmm
being pre-filtered before we even get to the system.
Sure.
Because we're doing the interviews over fucking Hangouts or the phone or something.
hmm
And then I've got all my electronic routing of phantom circuits to get it into the fucking mixer and everything. But with all that, you get what you get.
Yeah.
And there were some moments where, they were different
Right.
in quality than the majority of shots.
Mhm.
I'd say about 75% was a good sound range.
Right. But I will say
Yes.
it's a minor pick, my pick at the sound, because we've watched movies, B movies. We got 5 minutes in and we were like, fuck this. I can't hear a goddamn thing.
Well, and I'm going to emphasize B movie. This has happened more often than not with studio films,
Oh, that's true.
studio B movies. Not to say that, there have been some independent filmmakers who clearly didn't do a little bit of homework. If you have a VHS, we've talked about this, make your movie, but be smart about it. If you have a VHS camcorder and you're going to shoot your movie and it's a wide shot, understand one simple tenet of filmmaking. If you're 75 feet away from the actor, you aren't going to hear him.
Right.
Right. So you're going to need separate sound recording because otherwise you get people like us who are like, a lot of lips moving. And I hear,
Wish I knew what was going on.
yep, moving on. I'm not a lip reader and they're not close enough to read their lips anyway.
Right.
So, it's a small pick,
It is.
but it's an important one, but it's also one for people, out there doing this to understand, embrace your limits.
Yeah.
Right. You're like, okay, this is how it's going to sound because this is the location we have.
Right.
Right. We can't spend 6 months looking for fucking locations. We can't afford to pay for something. This is what we have. This is how we're going to shoot it. And this is how it's going to sound.
Yep.
And then you do the best. I want to say one thing about this movie. At the end, they had some outtakes
Oh, yeah.
and they had a couple of the crew.
Yes.
And I loved it. I wish more independent filmmakers would do not really so much gag reels, but just, I call them cut reels. It's all the shit that's cut out before and after someone says, action, cut.
Right.
You know,
And they're sweet, candid moments
they are
on set.
And I liked it. There wasn't a whole lot in this at the end, but it was just, it really did. It fit the vibe of the movie.
Yes.
Because they were happy. They were energetic, or they had a personality. Like the one guy is just like, he knows the camera's on him in his eye. He's side-eyeing.
You know, and that also is kind of in the style of those 80s movies.
Yes.
That happened a lot. Oh!
Do you want to talk? Give us the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a nod to Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Another champion film.
Right. So Ryan does the little thing that Ferris does at the end of his movie where she comes out and she's like, "You still here?" The movie's over. At the end of the credits.
And she goes and then she comes back. Are you stupid? Go. Oh, man. And yeah,
that was delightful.
So many things about her made us laugh. Like, you loved the bit where she came out onto the porch.
Oh yeah, the neighbor.
And was it Bridget?
No. Was it Bridget? I think it was Evan. Evan was out there, I think.
Oh yes, Evan was out there.
And then her cute neighbor came up.
Yeah, I don't know where the neighbor comes up. Hey, you Ryan's friend?
And Ryan comes out and she's like, psst.
Yeah. Shoo.
Like it's a raccoon on her porch.
That cracked me up when you said that.
Well, that moment cracked me up.
It did. Oh. So yeah, this it's a fun movie.
It is.
And technically it hit all the marks in what it was trying to achieve.
Yeah.
And I guess, it just comes back to that whole thing. And we've had two Scotsmen say it, just make your fucking film, fuck the rest of them, right?
Yeah, I can't wait to talk to this Scotsman again.
I know. But that's what we've been saying too. Make your thing.
Yeah.
Make your thing. And don't apologize for it.
Right.
Don't be sorry for it. I haven't seen or heard one thing, that Tucky Williams says, "Oh, I'm sorry, it wasn't a, $3 million project."
Yeah.
And I honestly don't think she would.
No.
Someone who goes through this.
She fought for this project.
Oh, she fought for this project and she pushed for it and she unfucked it when Amazon, shit on it. That's what you want to be. You're looking for examples on who to model yourself after. It's not always about the creativity.
Right.
It's about, you need to put your big boy or big girl pants on, hike those fuckers up to your neck, right? And stomp forward for what you believe in. And we've talked about that doesn't always work when you're trying to sell to a studio.
Yeah.
Right? Because let's face it, they have all the cards.
Right.
So you're going to have to, you have to eat some shit.
Right. You might have to have a poster that you think is stupid for the distro.
Right. There's so much that gets out of your control in these cases.
There is.
But as an independent filmmaker, if you're pursuing your own distribution and you're doing it in a way that you have control, right? You know what? Even fuck that. Before that, you're making your project. Do it the way you want. Okay. You'll find a distributor.
Yeah.
You'll find a distribution method. It's hard. I don't know how many times to say it. Everything about this business is fucking disappointing, heart-wrenching.
Yes.
You
have to be crazy.
Well, you got to be crazy. You have to know how to take a punch. And more importantly, at some point, you have to be able to stand up and say, nope.
Fuck that.
Yep. This is not okay.
Right.
My movie will be back on Amazon Video. Fuck this.
Yeah.
And you have to go through it. And it's not a right or wrong thing. You need to be able to have the passion and that charisma of, you believe in what you're doing so much that you can get people to join you and do it.
Well, that confidence.
Yeah.
That believing in yourself.
Absolutely. uh,
I'm really excited to talk to Tucky.
I can't wait.
I know.
It's going to be awesome. And you know, there's so I'm looking through my notes here, and there's so many little moments in the movie that I kind of touch on, but I can see that I missed because it's just one of those films.
Yeah.
It's not complicated. It's not fast paced.
Right.
They're so quick and they're so nuanced that trying to capture them and talk about them doesn't quite do it.
Right.
You know, like Ryan, she's my favorite.
Yes.
Out of this whole thing, because every time she's like, her fucking expressions.
She's my favorite too.
And her reactions and how she just handles everything. It's just, I don't know. I loved it. You know, and, Trista, you know, I was thinking as I'm going through this, looking over, she's, I think we could have had a little more of her.
I think so. I feel like she's, it sounds weird because she has, the issues with stalking her ex and everything, but she's kind of the mother of the group, the grown up, you know?
Right. Well, and again, that's St. Elmo's Fire. There's someone who's like lived life a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I'm not going to say who, because I want people to go watch it. But she has that. She's been married.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And she's getting a divorce. And, that's real world shit. Cause
it is.
I was like, oh, they were so young and this and that. Well, that's great. And they could get married in high school. They could be getting divorced in high school. Let me tell you what, the divorcing part grows everybody up quick. Cause that's when shit gets real.
Right.
Right. Now, the only thing that was missing was, they didn't have a kid.
Right.
Right. And I don't think that was needed. You know, it's one of those things that
I think divorces are hard enough without a kid.
Well, there's no place in the story for it.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we get it. It's complicated. You know, she still wants to be with her ex-wife, but after they slept together, right? Her ex-wife just puts her in her place.
Yeah.
You know, she's like, well, you're a consummate fuck up. You're like not here. You're not present. You haven't been. And I'm not ever going to believe you will be.
Right.
Right. So there's someone calling someone out about their nature. Right. Which is a little bit reversal of Evan, who's not calling herself out. She's explaining it and excusing it and saying, well, but my nature will change.
Right.
When I get what I want.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. You know, for varying levels, not totally selfish.
Well, yeah.
But yeah, Trista was, I enjoyed her presence. Like the bit with her and Ryan in the bedroom, Ryan's giant fucking bed.
Right. Like his huge 4-poster bed. She lives in a little mansion.
Yeah. And it's quite nice.
It is.
Really nice.
It's plush.
But it's one of those giant beds where the fucking bed itself is like 4 feet 4 inches off the fucking ground. You need a ladder to get into it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was funny. I enjoyed that. And I wanted to see more of her because she was supposed to be like I guess the more grown up, the more life experienced.
Yeah. I mean, she even says it kind of, she's like, I'm the mom of the group.
Yeah.
Evan's the dad, you know, yada, yada, yada. And she's the mom.
Yeah. She's all about everybody. You know, she listens, she tries to help. And that was a good comparison. I was thinking of that as sort of like 50s mom and dad, you know, father knows best, leave it to Beaver.
Right.
All these things. Right. You know, mom is all there, hugs and loves and kisses your boo-boo and takes care of you. And that was the quintessential mother up till to today. Right.
Yeah.
They still use that. And dad was always distant.
Right.
Here's dad's life. Wake up, go to work, earn money, come home, eat dinner, go to bed. Oh, wait, pay the bills. Nope. Sometimes you have the wife pay the bills, you know,
Sometimes.
or you give her money. Yeah. To pay the bills. Give her money to pay the bills. Oh shit. And that's kind of how Evan was. Evan was, it was a matter of fact representation in the group dynamic, right? Like, everybody's got shit.
Yeah.
Deal with it. Dad doesn't have time for this fucking nonsense.
Right.
Put your fucking belt on, hike them up and go, and Tristan's there like, oh,
it's going to be okay.
It's going to be okay. Give her hugs, talk it out and give some advice and,
Right.
And chew out, Evan a couple times as, moms back then would, chew out dad. And then, back then dad would just leave, go to his garage or his basement.
Yeah.
Watch
Whatever.
Sports. Yeah, all the stupid shit that they did. It hit good.
Mm-hmm.
It hit good. And I can't think of any other technical things that were wrong.
No.
Like I said, folks, when you watch this, understand the lighting and the quality are intentional.
Right.
So, roll with it. And if you're like me, and you're too long out of practice, maybe watch it in bursts.
Get a tube TV.
Or get a tube TV. Shit, they're all over out there.
Right.
A little bit heavier.
A little bit bulkier. Oh man.
And kind of as while you're doing something, if you decide to go out and take a look at this film, try to throw out some nice ratings and reviews. We just had a long conversation with the guys, with David and Liam, about people who like stuff don't often leave reviews.
Right.
Right. They're like 1 in 10. People who hate shit leave reviews 1 out of 3.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Asshole trolls, little fucking dickless, ballless fuck nuggets, 1 out of 1.
Right.
Right. Help out. It's all about supporting indie films, the B movies. And, you're part of that crowd. If you're a filmmaker or an actor or anything having to do with this industry, you're part of this.
You are.
And it really is incumbent on you, and us.
Right.
To help try and put a stop to this shit. Can't know everything. I knew nothing about this fiasco.
Right.
Right. Because it's just not where my radar gun was pointed.
Exactly.
And there's a lot of shit I don't know about because it's,
there's so much stuff. It's you literally can't keep up with everything.
Right. And I can only ever know so much, no matter how hard I try.
Yeah.
But, these injustices, it's not just this film. How many movies out there have gotten, this was compared to Captain Marvel.
Yes.
What happened here? Folks, remember Captain Marvel? This is my favorite part. There are actually reviews about Captain Marvel bitching that they put a woman in the part. I'm like, what? Hello?
Right.
Do you not fucking... You're supposed to be like a comic book fan or something that you would even know about this Captain Marvel movie. But, hello, dumbass. Captain Marvel was a woman. That's why most of us were like, fucking finally.
Right.
Right?
Because Captain Marvel's a fucking badass.
Yeah. We have, in the DC universe, we have Supergirl on CW.
Mm-hmm.
Is it on still CW? I think it got moved. I don't know. We have Supergirl.
I don't know.
Okay. And that's fantastic, right? Because we need more women-led everything, shows, movies, so on. And we need more women-led stuff that doesn't, we've talked about this, that doesn't turn them into some fucking Studio Suits version of what a woman should be, but just what a woman is.
Right.
And Captain Marvel was just that. She wasn't super, her personality wasn't way over on one side or way over on the other. Okay. She was a pilot. So you got to have that little, right? Because I tell you what, if you don't, you have no business flying a plane.
Yeah.
Right. But it was
Pilot
wonderful.
Swagger.
Pilot swagger. Absolutely. Yeah. I've seen many. Like, yeah, you should be behind that. You should be in that cockpit. Absolutely. So anyway, then we get the hatred. Now, I hated the last 3 Star Wars movies for different reasons. Had nothing to do with men or women or ethnicity or anything. It had to do with bad writing, stupid story, and just fucking dumb choices. However, a lot of people hated on Force Awakens because the key character was a woman.
Yeah.
Right. And that was clearly done, and it should have been, because Carrie Fisher never really got that lead. It was Carrie Fisher, Harrison Ford, and Mark Hamill. Though that was the trinity of Star Wars. But Carrie Fisher so in Star Wars, she's the damsel in distress. Only towards the end does she get some sass.
Yeah, and even then, it's pretty metered. It's not
right. Yeah, it's not like Carrie's on the loose. Let's go. It's like, okay, we gave her 5 seconds. Move on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Empire Strikes Back, bigger role.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I love The Empire Strikes Back. My favorite of all of them. But story-wise, Princess Leia, Carrie Fisher was brought into that movie to give emotional strength to the character of Han Solo. Right? It becomes more potent when you see him get, maybe killed, what's going on with this freezing thing. Knowing that basically a dick like Han Solo, right? He's likable and stuff, but let's face it, bit of a dick, could be loved by, Princess Leia. So that kind of like gives him some cred, makes the heartstrings a little more, right? Because without her, he's just a dick. He's just flying around, getting people into trouble, trying to get his own ass out of trouble.
Right.
Showing up a day late and $1 short. And then in Return of the Jedi, she was supposed to become part of this big story. No. So she crashes her bike. She gets taken, makes friends with Ewoks, disappears for who fucking knows how long, right? Until they finally like stumble across her because she's not fucking smart enough to get word to people. It was upsetting. And it's very typical of that era of movie. Right. And her role in Force Awakens, she was supposed to be General Organa, right?
I know.
Because of the poor writing, she didn't get what she should have. Well, none of them did, right? No. But the whole introduction of Rey was to try to correct that. Let's bring a female lead in and let's follow that story. And then everybody else is on her periphery. And I was all for it. And then we also had haters, a black stormtrooper. Oh my God. I don't even want to get into that.
I know.
Because that's a whole different conversation. Everyone's going to find something to hate on. And it's sad.
Well, I think there's a difference between, not everyone's going to like your stuff. And there are just some fucking fuckwads.
Yep.
Whose whole goal in life it is, to ruin other people's things because it makes them feel good about themselves because they're so fucking boring and worthless that they don't have anything better to do with their lives.
Absolutely.
Fuck them.
Well, and here's the thing. We call them trolls, right?
Yeah.
Okay. We need to come up with another word. Listeners, everybody out there, we need to come up with a better word for these people because another little independent film called Trolls.
Mm-hmm.
Or no, Troll Hunter.
Troll
Hunter. Right? Those trolls in that movie are so much cooler than these fucking, like, he didn't even call them troglodytes anymore. I don't even know what to call these losers. I mean, they're just losers. But we got to come up with a better term other than trolls and troglodytes and stuff to really just expose the vileness of what they are in like 2 syllables.
Yeah.
Or less. Yeah, fuck them. They're going to be out there. And I've said this before, and I said it in the last interview. The fucking internet is the worst place to go for your metrics, folks.
I know.
right? Don't check your fucking reviews. Well, I mean, you do. You need to stay on top of this shit. Otherwise, this could happen. What Tucky went through. But don't use that as a gauge for you on how good your stuff is, how good you are.
Mm-hmm.
Don't let that shit, don't do it to bolster your confidence because you will be fucking disappointed.
Right.
Like I said, assholes, 1-to-1 ratio.
Mm-hmm.
People who just hate shit, 1-to-3. And people who like shit, 1 out of 8, 1 out of 10, maybe. We'll take the time to go, this was really good. And I love this. And here's why. Most people are like, that was a good movie. And then they're on to the next thing. Admittedly, we do that.
Yes.
I haven't reviewed every single thing I've seen.
I'm terrible at that. And I'm trying to get better.
Right. And then, it's a slow boat.
It is.
As long as there's an effort.
It is. But I do want to say that the writing of this movie, Girl Scene, was very good. It was like quietly good. It was kind of like subversive. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
It does to me.
It was.
I know where you're coming from.
It's one of those things that it did really well. Tucky did a really good job of everything that she was setting out to do with the writing of this. There were parts where the dialogue was a little bit cheesy and but that's all part of the homage to this type of movie.
Right.
So, yeah.
It was really well written.
Mm-hmm.
It's one thing. So it's one thing to do an homage movie. It's another thing to kind of not for beat, but really heavily emulate a classic like that.
Yeah.
And here's where a lot of people think, well, that's no fucking talent. That is harder than coming up with your own shit from scratch.
I know.
We've done an adaptation, right?
Mm-hmm.
We've worked with stuff, and we talked to people who are like, I'd rather write my own stuff. I don't want to have to. I don't want to have to take that on, try and redo something else, because holy God.
Well, yeah, putting yourself in the box of trying to do an homage or an adaptation or trying to rework something into something else
mm-hmm.
or something new forces restraints on you that are hard to deal with. And, sometimes when you do that, you come up with something like beautiful and golden because those restraints forced, creativity.
Yes.
To deal with them. But it's not easy.
No. It isn't. It just isn't. And, because you can't rewrite something.
Right.
You just can't write. You have to make it different. It has to be different enough to show that it's different,
mm-hmm.
but it has to be the same enough to, I know what this is all about now.
Right.
Right. And she did a fantastic job.
She did.
It's super big hat tip to that, because I don't want to get into that ever as we're writing. But,
no.
But on the other note, if you're looking for someone to do something like that and you have some money that you want to put into a check, email us.
We can write some things.
We'll do it.
Yeah.
I'll suck it up. All right. So I think
we've about covered it.
I think we've covered it. It's a fantastic film.
Mm-hmm.
It in terms of its homage, it hits all the marks.
Yeah.
It was fun. It was funny,
mm-hmm.
and certainly didn't deserve and does not deserve all of the shit
right
that has happened. Listeners, if you know of a situation like this, go ahead and email us. Let us know.
Yeah.
Right. We don't have the power to undo this kind of
no,
stuff, but we have the power to bring it out.
Yeah.
Right. And do our bit to say, yeah, this was wrong. God damn it. And it shouldn't be.
Right.
So, see this, rent it. If it's not for free,
give it a good review.
Yeah. And, support indie film.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah. And also while you're out there,
go to our website,
which is
www.lordsofmisruleproductions.com. Don't look at me like that. I know what our website is.
Do you? Because I think you know how visibly lost you looked right there.
Yep. lordsofmisrulproductions.com. You can find all of our podcast episodes there. You can also find links to all of our social media profiles. We are on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook.
Yep. Links to the YouTube channel where we do our short videos now.
Yeah.
If you haven't been there in a bit, we don't do the full episodes as an audio video.
Right.
I hack it up and there's a little bit of video of us. Yeah. So you get
what?
like 15, 20 minutes
Right.
of various parts of the thing.
And if you're listening and you're interested in seeing more of our pretty faces, we've been contemplating doing live video. We're not sure.
Right. Caveat to that though.
Mm-hmm.
You want to see that happen? You don't have to tell us about it. You can show us
By becoming a patron.
Yep. On our webpage, or on our site.
You can find the link to our Patreon page.
Yep.
Or you can go to patreon.com. I just say it every which way. Patreon.com/Bravo for the B-side. All one word.
Right.
You can't search for us on Patreon because we say swear words.
Yep. Should I say a few?
If you want to.
Shit fucker snatched twat. How's that? Yay. We get some patrons. We will definitely consider doing that.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing, folks. Independent film costs money.
It sure does.
And with everything going on, that's why we're not trying to produce anything right now, because it would be a huge waste of money. Till all this shit clears up. But also doing the podcast costs money and all these extra things.
Having our site hosted, having our podcast hosted, doing all the stuff.
Well,
and the time that we put in.
Yeah.
And
there's a lot of shit out there that you can do for free.
Yes.
But here's the thing.
It's not going to sound this good.
No, it isn't. And I don't do that.
Right.
Like I said, I put my effort in and to do, proper live streaming services would be a cost. But hey, you know what? If you want to see it or you just like what we're doing and, want to help us move forward, even more interviews. It'd be awesome to do a live interview with somebody.
Right.
Right. Check out our Patreon page.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Give it a think.
Monthly polls. And we want to give stuff to our patrons that our patrons want.
Right.
So, as we get more, we're going to be asking you, what do you want?
Yeah. That includes swag.
Yeah.
Stuff
giveaways,
that we do.
swag. Yeah. All kinds of stuff. Q&A, voting on things that you want to make us watch.
Yeah. Because let's just put it out there. We do this because it's fun.
Yeah. And we have no plans to stop doing this.
Right. And we also, with our teeny tiny niche audience, we've got a lot of people who find this entertaining, which, thank you.
Yeah.
But also B, some good advice, and it's turning them onto films, turning them onto the interviews.
Yeah.
And we've had a lot of little statements like, I caught this episode and wow.
Right.
In fact, someone just watched Redwood Massacre after listening to our episode, sent a little note on Twitter saying, listened to your episode on it and watched it. And even though I knew everything, what you talked about, some of the kills still surprised me.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So check us out.
Yes.
Also, in between checking us out and whatever it is that you're doing, go get some B movies, go get some independent films, rent them, view them, show your support for them.
Mm-hmm.
And more importantly, enjoy them.
Yeah.
And then if you have any time left over, make something.
Right. Learn from them and make something.
Yes. All right. B-siders. That's going to do it for this week.
Is it? Because I have one more thing to tease.
It's not going to be it for this week.
Should I tease it?
We'll tease it.
The little project? You don't know what I'm talking about, do you?
I do know what
Okay.
Yes, I know what you're talking about. I'm thinking in terms of timeline. We're so many weeks ahead.
It'll have already happened.
Because like this is going to be what? That's like the 6th or the 16th?
Uh-huh.
The 3rd, 8th. See, I don't even know.
Numbers.
9th?
You know what? Never mind. You'll be surprised.
Yeah, we got something coming.
Yeah.
We're doing our own little lockdown project.
Yeah.
That doesn't cost money. Like so many people should be doing with this time.
Right.
We'll talk more about it once we get it going.
Heck yeah.
Because we're still weeks out from the necessary thing arriving.
We're in pre-production.
Yeah, we are.
I'm
All
really excited about it. Okay.
It'll be fun.
So that'll be it for tonight.
All right. Well, you already said it's already it. Okay, B-siders. This is Jim.
This is Danny.
And have a great week. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. We'll catch you next week.
Bye.